I asked for the divorce at the height of his busiest season. He didn't even look up. You've thought it through? Custody goes to me. He assumed I'd cave for Chloe's sake, the way I had for the past 8 years. But this time I smiled and laid my debit card on his desk. Bride price, $28,800. Returning in full. I'm not taking the child. Leave her with your white moonlight. Before we continue, please subscribe and tell us where you're listening. Adrian still didn't look up. His fingers flew over the keyboard, dense clauses piling like a wall, divorcing our 8-year marriage into 2 separate worlds. You've thought it through, custody is mine. His voice was calm, no ripple, as ordinary as tomorrow's weather forecast. Between his brows lived 3 familiar words: can't be bothered. The background music of our final 3 years together. Across the desk lay the Victoria file. Victoria. Such a fluid name, clear ripples on a lake. Nothing like mine, Serena, proclaiming peace, peace so complete I could barely breathe. I stared at the crown of his head where one gray strand had sprouted last month. I'd reached to pluck it. He turned away. Video conference, he'd said. With Victoria. 11 p.m., the meeting. With Victoria. Thought it through, I answered, voice uncannily steady. Custody is yours. No objection. The typing stopped. Adrian finally raised his eyes. Confusion flickered behind the lenses, then offense. Serena, don't be dramatic. I'm buried in Victoria's case. Her partnership next year hinges on it. See? Even his excuses came packaged with her name. I laughed. Actually laughed. Acid rising, escaping as a clip sound. His frown deepened. I pulled the navy card from my bag. Under the cold white light it shimmered as I rested it squarely atop the file, covering the word Victoria. Your bride price, $28,800, every cent password still the one you set. He stared as if it were alien plastic. What does this mean? It means the money's returned. I met his sharpening gaze. And future child support will be wired here, monthly, no cents missing. A crease split his composure, disbelief, a spark of panic. The great undefeated divorce attorney was finally losing control on the marital battlefield. Serena, he rose, height once thrilling, now ridiculous, Chloe's 4. You could abandon her? Could. My heart spasmed, crushed by an icy fist. Chloe, my Chloe, last night on my lap. Mommy, is Daddy coming for dinner? He's not. He's meeting client Victoria. She'd blinked. Is Aunt Lane more important than me? For years old, already asking. You're insane. His tone chilled. Using our daughter as leverage? Cheap trick. Not leverage, I corrected. A decision. I'm not taking her. Give her to your white moonlight. Didn't Victoria always want a child? Ready-made. The arrow punctured his polished skin. He rounded the desk, seizing my wrist, burning palm, calloused from years of pens. Once, that touch made me flush. Now it turned my stomach. Explain. White moonlight. Victoria is my partner, nothing more. Nothing more? I laughed until tears pricked. Adrian, swear on your conscience. Really nothing? I tried to yank free. He tightened until bone ached, yet the pain felt perversely liberating. 8 years in warming water, nearly boiled, while he insisted the temperature was perfect. 3 years ago, 7 months pregnant. Remember the date? His gaze dodged. Our anniversary, I supplied. You promised dinner. I waited 2 hours, then your text. Emergency with Victoria's case. Heading to court. Eat without me. That was work, he argued, less certain. 10 p.m., contractions. I called. Victoria answered. He's in the shower, she said. Hotel strategy session, so intense it required bathing. His grip slackened. Misunderstanding. Too many. I cut him off. Chloe's first birthday, 3 hours late, furniture shopping with Victoria. My 30th surprise. It was Victoria's victory toast. I was tag-along spouse. Last month, Chloe, 40-degree fever. Your phone off. You'd escorted Victoria to a client who dislikes interruptions. Both phones dark. Important client. Our daughter isn't. I finally screamed. 8 years of grievance, bursting the dam. Adrian, While she convulsed, you were toasting another woman. Doctors said minutes later could have meant brain damage. Did you know? He stood mute, strength drained from his fingers. I freed myself, a red bracelet already blooming. I rubbed it gently. I remember every incident. I lifted my eyes. I thought I could endure for Chloe, for home. I was wrong. I can't stomach Victoria. It's you. Each choice ranking us below her. The tacit agreement that you're understanding, with her outrank's wife and child. My voice shook. I dug nails into palms to steady it. I'm no fool. I recognize the glow when you speak her name. Soulmates, and I'm the awkward third, right? Not like that. Empty syllables. Then how? I pressed. If no marriage tethered us, if both Victoria and I needed you tonight, who gets your yes? Dead silence. The wall clock ticked like thunder. I watched his Adam's apple bob, watched struggle and evasion. 1 full minute, no answer. No answer is answer. Understood. I nodded, pulled the divorce petition from my bag, laid it beside the card. House to me, savings split, custody to you, visitation for me. No objections? We file next week. He stared as if it were a death warrant. You prepared this long ago. Since the night Chloe burned. I exhaled. I held her till dawn. You arrived at 7 reeking of Victoria's perfume. In that corridor I knew. Over. I turned to the door. His voice finally cracked. Serena, let's talk. Chloe needs her mother. You can't be this cruel. Cruel? I glanced back, tears finally falling. You married me knowing Victoria owned your heart. You watched me suffocate and played blind. You used Chloe as chain, certain I'd endure forever. I wiped my cheeks. Not anymore. She stays with you not from lack of love, because I love her too much to let her grow up in cold betrayal. Better she hates me for leaving than learns to stomach a husband who doesn't love her. Color drained from his face. Tell Victoria she won. Beating me is nothing to celebrate. I stepped into the corridor. Light spilled, blinding. Wait. He caught my arm, gently this time. I neglected you, neglected home, but I never cheated. At least not physically. Victoria is only my partner. Emotional cheating is still cheating. Crueler. You handed her your heart, left me the bills. His hand froze midair. I slipped free, gave the house one last look. Our wedding photo still hung in the foyer. Me beaming, eyes full of tomorrow. Adrian smiling politely. Task completed. Omens everywhere. I'd simply refuse spectacles. Adrian, I said, as earnest as on our first date, my grief isn't that you'll leave. It's that you never truly arrived. I descended. Heels clacked on marble. 1, 2, countdown. He didn't follow, only watched from the study as I vanished. Downstairs, the entry mirror showed a pale, gaunt woman, tears trailing, yet lips curved. I was smiling. Leaving someone who never loved you feels like shedding armor made of lead. Door opened, shut. The place once called home sealed behind. Sunset scorched my face. I lifted my chin to meet it. Phone buzzed. Maya. How'd it go?
Done. Pick me up.
3 minutes later, her car idled. I buckled in.
Drive.
Really divorced? Really? I reclined, eyes closed. He keeps Chloe, she gasped. Serena. Insane. Chloe's your world.
Was.
I realized a mother who's lost herself can't give real love. I find me first, then I love her better. Silence then. What now?
Job.
Illustration again. And an apartment fast. Adrian just agreed? I pictured his blood-drained shock. He thinks it's a tantrum I'll crawl back from. Not this time. Never again. The car climbed the ramp. City lights flickered on. I rolled the window down. Let dusk erase tear tracks. Buzz, Adrian. Come back, let's talk. 3 seconds, then block. 8 years. 28,800, 1 4-year-old. Tuition for a lesson. Never love a man whose heart lodges another woman, even if she's labeled friend. Maya parked outside an old compound. Friend's unit for rent. 1 bed. Worn but clean near me. View. I nodded, followed her up. Legs trembled, fatigue or freedom. Who knew? She offered a hand. Say the word, I'm here. I squeezed. I'm steady. Have to be. Inside, sunlight pooled on worn floorboards. I stepped into the bright patch and closed my eyes. Starting today, Serena was going to live for herself. Starting today, the woman who had given up everything for love was dead. My phone vibrated inside my bag, probably Adrian calling from yet another new number. I didn't answer. I just stood quietly in the sunlight, savoring the warmth I hadn't felt in ages. Outside the window, children's laughter rang out, bright, carefree. I thought of Chloe, of the way her eyes curved when she smiled. Wait for mommy, Chloe, I said silently. Once I find my wings again, I'll come back for you. I promise. 3 days later, my new phone rang. The number was familiar, the main line from Adrian's law firm. I let it ring 7 times before it cut off. 1 minute later, a text slid in. I've read the divorce petition. A few clauses need discussion. Come to the firm tomorrow at 3. Same old command. I deleted the text and went back to editing my portfolio. On the screen was an illustration I'd done 10 years ago. Bold colors, soaring lines. The girl named Serena in that picture looked at the world with nothing but ambition and wonder. Maya leaned in and sighed. If you hadn't quit back then, you'd probably be a famous illustrator by now. No what-ifs, I said calmly, clicking open a new file. Starting now isn't late. The phone buzzed again, an unfamiliar number this time. I hesitated, then picked up. Ms. Vance? This is Ethan from Cross Gallery. We received your portfolio and would like to meet. Ethan. The name dropped into my heart like a pebble, sending ripples across still water. My senior from college, the guy I used to paint beside in the art club. I'd lost contact after marriage. He owned a gallery now? Ethan? I asked tentatively. A brief pause on the other end, then a laugh. Serena? It's really you? When the email came in, I wondered if it was just the same name. His voice hadn't changed, still that warm autumn light texture. It's me. Sudden nerves fluttered in my chest. I've been job hunting and saw your open call for contract illustrators. Perfect timing. His tone was sincere. Your work always had spirit. We need creators like you. Free tomorrow? Drop by, talk collaboration. I glanced at the calendar. 3 p.m. tomorrow was Adrian's slot. 4 o'clock tomorrow? I asked. Of course. I'll WhatsApp you the address, same old number. I've switched. Text me. After hanging up, my heart beat fast, not because of Ethan, but because of the unfamiliar feeling of being seen. In 8 years, Adrian had never once looked at my art. The time I proudly showed him Chloe's growth journal sketches, he glanced once and said, "Cute, but don't let Chloe start drawing too early. It'll hurt her schoolwork." A bucket of ice water over every spark I had. Who was that? Maya asked. Ethan, college senior, now runs Cross Gallery, I said. Wants to meet tomorrow. Maya's eyes lit up.
Great.
But aren't you supposed to see Adrian tomorrow? Not going. I closed the portfolio and opened a rental site. He snaps, I jump. I'm not his employee. Fierce. She gave me a thumbs up. But you're really skipping the settlement? What if he plays dirty? Let him. I cut her off. A lawyer checked the terms. They favor me. If he balks, we go to court. He's the famous divorce attorney. Let's see who the scandal hurts more. Maya studied me, then grinned. Serena, this divorce swapped you for someone else. Not swapped. I looked at my haggard reflection in the monitor. I'm retrieving the original. The Serena who once stayed up till dawn over a single drawing, who dreamed of a solo exhibition, whom several galleries courted at graduation. She'd only been asleep for 8 years. Time to wake up. The next afternoon at 3, Adrian's law firm. Victoria glided in carrying coffee, poised like a commercial shoot. She set the cup beside him and skimmed the divorce petition spread across his desk. Serena's actually going through with it? Her voice held just the right note of surprise and concern. Adrian ignored the coffee, fingers pressed to his temples. She didn't show. No show. Victoria arched a brow. Having second thoughts, maybe? I knew she couldn't really walk away from Chloe. She's changed every contact. Exhaustion dragged at his words. My assistant checked everywhere she used to go. Nothing. Maya won't pick up either. Victoria settled opposite him, legs elegantly crossed. Adrian, Serena's out of line this time. Using the kid as leverage? Cheap move. But if she wants drama, indulge her a few days. Once she calms down, she'll crawl back. What mother can abandon her child? Adrian lifted his gaze. Today she wore cashmere the color of oat milk, pearl studs, makeup flawless, smile calibrated, perfect, always knowing what to say. Yet he kept seeing Serena's last look, quiet, resolute, zero hesitation. Victoria, he asked suddenly. Serena said she met you. What did you talk about? Her smile froze a millisecond, then reinflated. Nothing much. Asked me to tell you to come home more, spend time with her and Chloe. I explained you're building the firm, our shared future. Told her to be understanding. That's all. What else? Her smile turned faintly hurt. Adrian, you're not buying her old flame nonsense? We've known each other over 10 years. If something were going to happen, it would have long ago. Why wait? He said nothing. Victoria moved behind him, palms resting on his shoulders. I know you're upset, but relax. Serena's just impulsive. Once she realizes she can't function without you, she'll be back. She's been out of society too long. What can she do besides be a housewife? Her fingers kneaded gently. Adrian stood abruptly, stepping clear of her touch. I need air. Going after Serena? Her voice cooled. Adrian, chasing her now, only encourages her. Let her cool off. She'll return on her own. He grabbed his coat and left without replying. In the elevator, he ran into Alex, a senior partner. Alex clapped his shoulder. Heard the missus wants out? Women, sweet-talk them, and it blows over. This is different, Adrian said.
How?
Alex chuckled. We're divorce lawyers, seen it all. 90% of the time, the wife wants more money or wants him on his knees. Your stay-at-home bride, how's she supposed to survive? The doors opened. Adrian stepped out, Alex's words echoing. How would she survive? That certainty had always anchored him. No income, no resume, 8 years out of the workforce, plus a kid. Serena had nowhere else to go. Except this time, she hadn't even taken the child. The realization sent a jolt of panic through his chest. 4 p.m., Cross Gallery. The space was larger than I'd expected. 2 stories of minimalist industrial decor, walls crammed with canvases. My gaze snagged on a central oil painting, a woman's back to the viewer, facing a window flooded with sunset. Like it? Ethan appeared, offering a bottle of water. It's singular, I said. Lonely but determined. He smiled. A friend painted it after some upheaval. Her style shifted, but I think the work's stronger now. Upstairs, a glass-walled lounge overlooked the street. He leafed through my portfolio, slow and deliberate. Serena, he said at last, eyes complicated. I'm both happy and sad. Happy your talent survived, even deepened. Sad that for 8 years, why'd you stop? I curled my fingers around the cold bottle. Marriage, baby, chores. Too busy even to pick up a pencil? He was blunt, not judgmental. Professors said you were born for this. I gave a small smile. He closed the folder and leaned forward. I won't pry, but your work deserves eyes on it. We can sign you, mount a solo show, provided you promise steady output. My heart skipped. A solo show? Yes. His eyes shone. Title: Rebirth. Your pieces feel like something breaking ground after long dormancy. Rare. Rebirth. The word cracked through years of accumulated haze. I'll need time. 3 months enough? He asked. Next spring the schedule's open. 3 months. About what the custody battle should take if things moved smoothly.
Deal.
We hashed out everything: contract terms, revenue split, marketing. Ethan was professional, generous. At the end, he hesitated. Serena, are you okay personally? He meant the later series titled Cage. All birds behind bars. Mid-divorce, I said. So yes, finally time to paint. He nodded, asked no more. Art is good therapy. Need anything, call. Outside, dusk had fallen. Neon lights blinked on as I hailed a cab, reality feeling surreal. In 3 hours I'd gained a job, income, maybe a solo show, all because I'd left Adrian. My phone buzzed, Maya. How'd it go? Signed. Solo show next spring. A squeal erupted from the speaker.
Yes.
Celebration mandatory tonight. Wait for me. I laughed. Adrian call you. 3 rings. Ignored. Now he panics? Too late. But you still have to settle the papers eventually. I'll let my lawyer meet him, I said, climbing into the taxi. 8 p.m., my new apartment. Maya arrived with a hot pot feast. The tiny table groaned. Between chilly fumes and sniffles, I felt 8 years of suffocation finally exhale. Halfway through, the doorbell rang. Maya peaked-mouthed. Adrian. I wiped my mouth, walked over, and opened the door. He stood in a rumpled suit, tie askew, eyes bloodshot. In his hand, a cake box from the chestnut cake shop I loved. Serena, he rasped. I've been everywhere. This was the last place. I didn't step aside. What do you want? You didn't answer calls or texts. He held out the box. Today, it's our 9th meet-iversary. I'd honestly forgotten. After years of missed anniversaries, birthdays, Valentines, I'd stopped marking dates. So?
I didn't take the cake.
His arm hung midair. Can we talk inside? 10 minutes. Here's fine. I have company. His gaze flicked past me to Maya and the steaming pot, his expression dimmed. You seem to be doing okay. Sleeping through the night, I said. The barb hit. His hand dropped. Serena, I know I messed up. Give me one more chance for Chloe. Chloe again. Adrian, I said evenly. If you'd come clean, apologized for us, I could respect that. But you lead with Chloe. You don't care how I hurt, only that your picture stays intact, right? That's not. Then tell me, how many nights did I cry these past 3 years? No answer. How many nights did I stare at the ceiling? Silence. How did it feel every time you and Victoria walked into a gala together? His face drained of color. You never noticed. I laughed, tears slipping, because you didn't care. You care about your firm, your name, your perfect plan. Chloe and I were just checklist items. Wife, child. Boxes ticked, then shelved. It wasn't like that. What about Victoria? I pressed. Can you swear you never felt anything? This time, he didn't deny immediately. The hesitation sliced the last thread.
Got it.
I nodded. Sign the petition or we go to court. Weekend pickups start this Saturday. Interfere, and I'll file for enforcement. Serena. He seized my wrist, grip crushing. You can't. Chloe needs her mother. Don't be selfish. Selfish. I yanked my hand free, my voice finally climbing. Adrian, for 8 years I shelved my career, my friends, my entire self for you and Chloe, and now you call me selfish? Then tell me, what counts as selfless? Keep swallowing your silent treatment, watch you and Victoria drift in and out of, pretend I'm blissful. That's selfless. The motion sensor light in the stairwell snapped on, washing Adrian's stunned face in cold white. He'd probably never seen me this hysterical. Yes, I used to be docile, considerate, the Serena who tucked every feeling behind a smile. But that wasn't me. It was a custom-built perfect wife for the sake of marriage. Now I don't want perfect. I want real. Go home. I was exhausted. I'll hire a lawyer as soon as possible and be in touch. Serena? Also, I glanced at the cake in his hand. Chestnut cake. I stopped liking it ages ago. 3 years ago on your birthday, I said I wanted to try the new flavor from that shop, and you said it was too sweet, bad for your teeth. From that day on, I told myself to stop wanting it. I shut the door. The panel blocked his bewildered face, and the 8-year marriage behind it. Maya walked over and hugged me. You okay? I'm fine. I drew a long breath. Just tired. Worth it? Maya asked, trading away Chloe for now. Just to be free? I looked out at the city lights, a galaxy flipped upside down. Maya, do you know what terrifies me most? Not losing Adrian, but Chloe growing up thinking marriage is supposed to be like mom, sacrifice, retreat, and still get taken for granted. I turned to her. I don't want her to copy me. I want her to know a woman has to love herself first before she can love anyone else. Maya's eyes reddened. When will you tell her? When I pick her up this weekend, I said. I'll explain Mommy isn't abandoning her. Mommy just needs time to become a better mom. Outside, Adrian's car was still parked at the curb. He leaned against the door, cigarette glowing like a tiny red star. I pulled the curtains and returned to the table to finish the hot pot dinner that had been interrupted. The broth was still hot, the spice still sharp. Like life, scalding, but at least it had flavor. Friday, 3 p.m. I reached Chloe's kindergarten early. For the first time I was here for visitation, not routine pickup. Standing at the familiar iron gate, staring at the rainbow slides and swings, my heart clenched. All week I dreamed of Chloe crying for Mommy, asking why I didn't want her anymore. Ms. Vance. Her teacher, Sam, spotted me, expression complicated. You're here. Sam, I've come for Chloe. I fought to keep my voice steady. Mr. Vance already collected her, Sam said. Half an hour ago. I froze. Collected? But the agreement says visitation starts Friday at 3. Mr. Vance said he misremembered, thought it began at 4. Sam spoke carefully. He said he'd call to explain. I checked my phone, no missed calls, no texts. Adrian hadn't contacted me at all. Fury flared, then flattened. Fine, Adrian, if that's how you want to play. Got it, thanks, Sam. I spun away, heels rapping the flagstones. In the car, I dialed him straight. He answered on the 5th ring. The background was quiet. Serena? His tone was unruffled, as if nothing had happened. Where's Chloe? I cut in. Home. Why? Adrian. I gripped the wheel. The agreement states clearly, every Friday 3 p.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. she's with me. What are you pulling? A few seconds of silence. Oh, I mixed up the time. Thought it started at 4. Then why didn't you call? Why didn't you bring her back? Chloe felt under the weather, so I took her home. A hint of triumph laced his voice. Come get her, perfect chance for us to talk. I closed my eyes, inhaled. Same pattern. Use the child as leverage, breach the deal, then expect me to dance to his rhythm. Send me the address. I hung up, but instead of starting the engine, I called Ethan. Ethan, sorry to spring this on you. Didn't you say you know a shark divorce attorney? Yeah, Alex, lethal on custody wars. Ethan asked, need an intro? Please, the sooner the better. 15 minutes later, Alex's contact popped up. I texted the basics, then drove to the house that used to be ours. It looked exactly the same. White picket fence, manicured lawn, wisteria fading by the door. 8 years I'd spent here. Watering the garden at dawn, cooking dinner at dusk, weekend picnics on the grass with Chloe. Now it felt alien. Adrian opened the door in loungewear, hair damp like he'd just showered. Too familiar. Countless nights he'd emerge from the study, murmur, I'm beat, turning in, and leave me alone in the living room glow. Where's Chloe? I demanded. Upstairs, asleep. Low-grade fever. Meds just kicked in. He angled toward the kitchen. Drink? Tea or coffee? Nothing. I strode toward the stairs in my shoes. I'm going to see her, Serena. He stopped me. We need to talk. I paused, turned. Talk about you willfully breaching the agreement? About weaponizing our kid to force a meeting? I'm not forcing, he stepped closer. I just want a real conversation. I've done a lot of thinking this week. I ignored you, I'm sorry. But the divorce, aren't we being rash? Rash. I laughed. Know how long I've been prepping? Ever since 3 years ago, when I saw photos of Victoria hanging on your arm at some gala and you called it networking. That night I started. Adrian's face stiffened. 3 years? You never said. I did. My voice shot up. I said I hated how close you two were. I said I needed you home more. I said we had problems. Remember your answer? I was oversensitive. I didn't understand your workload. I should learn Victoria's tact. Memory flooded in like a busted dam. Chloe's second birthday, remember? I booked the restaurant. Reminded you a week ahead. That afternoon you said Victoria's trial got sudden calendar priority, and you had to go. I sat alone with Chloe while the waiter asked, "Your husband isn't here yet?" And I said, "Something came up." Know how humiliating that was. His lips moved. No sound came. Last year, when Mom was hospitalized, I begged you to come with me. You said the firm couldn't spare you, and sent Victoria instead. You let her accompany me to see my sick mother? Adrian, do you even have a heart? Tears surged. I forced them back. No crying, not in front of him. I kept a ledger right here. I tapped my chest. Page after page of your neglect, your preference for Victoria. Each entry killed a piece of me. Now it's stone cold dead. He looked bloodless. I didn't know. I thought those were trifles. Trifles? The word felt obscene. To you they're trifles. To me they're my entire life. A soft rustle on the stairs. We both raised our heads, Chloe in pajamas, rubbing sleepy eyes. Mommy? My heart twisted. I hurried up, crouched, hugged her. Mommy's here, baby. She was warm, cheeks flushed. She nestled against me. Mommy, why don't you come home? Daddy said you went traveling, but it's been so long. I glanced at Adrian. He looked away. I didn't go traveling. I stroked her hair. Mommy just moved out for a bit. But I'm still your mommy, forever. Will you sleep with me? She whispered. I had a bad dream that you didn't want me anymore. A knife to the softest place. I held her tighter. Never, baby. Mommy will never not want you. Come on, let's sleep. I carried her back, tucked her in, sat patting her gently. Her walls were plaster with drawings, mostly family portraits. Daddy, Mommy, Chloe, all smiling, holding hands. In one corner, a vague female figure was shaded with yellow crayon, long hair. Victoria. Chloe had already drawn her into our family. A chill ran through me. When she drifted off, I eased the door shut and returned downstairs. Adrian sat hunched on the sofa, head in hands, shoulders sagging, a decade older overnight. Let's discuss custody, I said flatly. I signed away primary custody. I'm reversing that. He jerked upright. What? I'm going to fight for Chloe. I sat opposite, eyes locked on his. Did you see her drawing? Victoria's already in it. She's 4, and the woman constantly beside Daddy is automatically family. Tell me, if I walk away, what happens next? Victoria becomes the new mommy? No. He sprang up. We're not like that. Then what are you? I cut in. You sent her to my sick mother, let her into our gatherings, let her saturate our life. Be honest. Do you really plan to keep things strictly professional, or have you already mapped out the moment I exit and she slips in? His mouth opened. Nothing came. I pulled out my phone and tapped a recording 6 months ago, a chance cafe meet with Victoria. I'd sense trouble and hit record. Victoria's cool, elegant voice issued out. Serena, I'd rather not say this, but for Adrian's sake I will. You know he's exceptional, big world, big dreams, big career. You forgive me, but your world is tiny. Husband and child, that's it. What are you implying? My recorded voice trembled. That you and he no longer share a frequency. No common language, no intellectual exchange. You don't even understand his work. I can stand beside him in court, strategize cases, fight shoulder to shoulder. That's the partner he needs, someone on his wavelength. We're married. Married. A soft laugh. Don't fool yourself, Serena. Your marriage exists in name only. Adrian stays out of obligation because of Chloe. How long can duty last? A year? 2? When he's exhausted, do you think he'll keep tolerating a marriage without resonance? Silence from past me. My advice, leave while you still have dignity. Everyone wins. You'll get a settlement, find a simpler man, start over. As for Chloe, don't worry, I'll love her like my own. The recording ended. Living room air turned to concrete. Adrian's face cycled from shock to fury to something raw. He stared at the phone like it was a loaded gun. She actually said that. His voice cracked. Want segment 2? I asked evenly. Or 3? I have 3 chance encounters. Every time she nudged me to let go, hinted you two are destiny. He lurched up, pacing. Why didn't you show me sooner? Would you have believed me? Or told me I was paranoid? That she meant well like always? In your head, Victoria is forever perfect, forever benevolent. I'm the nag who cries wolf. I never. You did. Tears finally spilled, but my words stayed steady. You handed her the power to hurt me because you always side with her. Every tiny defense, every you're overthinking it, told her Serena doesn't matter. Her feelings, her words, unreliable. He stopped at the window, back to me, shoulders trembling. So now you know. I wiped my cheeks. I gave up custody not because I love Chloe less, but because I believed you could give her a whole, quiet home. I was wrong. With Victoria in the picture, it will never be whole, and Chloe will never be truly happy. Outside, dusk gathered. Streetlights flared to life, illuminating the house that once was mine. I'm contesting custody, I repeated. Fight me, or we see you in court. I'll ask the judge to listen to these recordings and decide whether a wife who's been ignored for years and bullied by the other woman deserves custody. Adrian turned. The whites of his eyes streaked crimson. Serena, can we not take it that far? I promise. I'll keep my distance from Victoria. I'll delegate at the firm. I'll be with you and Chloe. Let's start over, please. There was raw pleading in his voice, the first time in 8 years I'd ever heard him speak like that. But I was already dead inside. It's too late, Adrian. I said, some wounds once made, stay made. A mirror can be pieced back together, but the cracks never disappear. I started up the stairs. Tonight, I sleep with Chloe. Tomorrow morning, I take her. Try to stop me and I call the police. Then I file for a restraining order. Serena, one more thing. I paused on the landing without looking back. Tell your Victoria that her kind advice will be replayed for the judge verbatim. A woman who works to dismantle a family, does she belong in my daughter's life? I'll let the court decide. I climbed the rest of the way and eased Chloe's door open. She was restless, tiny brows pinched. I lay beside her and patted her back. She wriggled closer and murmured, Mommy, don't go. I'm not going. I kissed her forehead. Mommy's staying tonight. Downstairs, the front door clicked shut. Adrian had left. I didn't know where, and I didn't care. Moonlight slipped through the curtains and striped Chloe's face. Watching her sleep, I felt a surge of sorrow and of steel. Sorry, baby. Mommy may do something that hurts you for a moment, but I swear it's to give you a better tomorrow. A tomorrow with no lies, no betrayals, no ghost of a white moon. Outside, an engine purred away into the distance. I shut my eyes and held my daughter tight. Adrian's car idled below Victoria's condo. 10 p.m., but the 23rd floor was still lit. He smoked one cigarette after another until the pack was empty, then stepped out. The elevator numbers ticked upward like heartbeats, each ping jabbing his nerves. Here he played the recording Serena had played, Victoria's gentle voice, the vicious words underneath, and remembered every ounce of trust he'd poured into her for years. The doors slid open. Victoria wore a silk robe, hair loose, surprise polished to perfection. Adrian? Why so late? What's wrong? She stepped aside. White musk and jasmine curled through the air, once appealing, now cloying. Serena played me a recording. He cut straight, voice ice. Your conversation with her in the cafe, 6 months ago. Her smile froze, then thawed. Recording? Which recording? I don't recall ever meeting Serena alone. She says you ran into her 3 times. He kept his gaze on her. 3 times you told her to leave me, that you were the right match, that you'd love Chloe like your own. That's absurd. Victoria widened her eyes, hurt and innocent. Adrian, you've known me over a decade. Am I that kind of person? Could Serena have misunderstood? Or maybe the audio's faked. I listened. Adrian said, it was your voice. Voice cloning is child's play now. She reached for his hand. He stepped back. Adrian, you don't believe me? After all we've built together? He studied her. Those lovely up-tilted eyes glistened, the same eyes that had kept him company through countless late nights, cheering his victories, soothing his exhaustion. He'd thought she understood him, that they were equals on the same summit. Now, for the first time, he saw something else in them: calculation, panic, a composure stretched thin overexposure. I want the truth. He bit out each word. Victoria, if we're still friends, give it to me. She hesitated, then walked to the sideboard, poured 2 whiskeys, and handed him one. She took a sip first. All right, truth. She settled on the couch, legs crossed, elegant as ever, but eyes already shifting. I did meet Serena, just not to force her out. I laid out reality. What reality? The one where you two no longer fit. Victoria stared straight at him. Be honest, Adrian. When did you and Serena last talk about anything deeper than groceries? She doesn't get your world or your pressure. What can she give you when you hit bottom? His knuckles whitened around the glass. I can. Her voice softened. I can second-chair your trials, debate strategy till dawn, toast your wins, dissect your losses. We're real partners professionally, spiritually. So you lectured my wife on quitting? His voice trembled. Victoria, who anointed you? Who? A bleak laugh. You did, Adrian. Every time you moaned about marriage, every time you chose me over her, you convinced me I ranked higher in your heart. Lightning seemed to strike behind his ribs. Remember the merger case 3 years ago? She swirled the liquor. A month of all-nighters, Serena calling nightly to beg you home. You called her childish. I was the one ordering midnight takeout, draping blankets over you when you collapsed on the conference table. That was work. Work. She cut in. Then why, on Serena's birthday, did you promise dinner but show up at my celebration? Why, when Chloe had a fever, did one call from me reroute you? Every time she and I competed for you, you picked me. Adrian found no air. Because you'd already voted. Victoria rose, closing the distance. Adrian, admit it, you love me. Duty shackles you from facing it. I don't love you. He retreated 1 step, hoarse. I admire you, sink with you, fight beside you, but I don't love you. Her mask cracked. Not love. Then why treat me better than her? Why? Because I'm selfish. The ugliest answer finally tore free. With you, I feel light. You never need comforting, never ask me to leave the office behind. We discuss only what I master and enjoy. Serena, she needed more, my presence, my stepping into her world, my separating work from family. So I chose the easier road. I hid behind busy at work, evading husbandhood and fatherhood. I used you as a shelter where I didn't have to change, grow, or confront failure. Victoria's face strained. So, I was just an escape hatch. No, I was wrong. He opened his eyes, exhausted. I exploited your feelings to plug the holes in my marriage. I sent false signals, let you imagine possibility. I'm sorry, Victoria, truly. Silence fell like a guillotine. City lights painted her profile. Shock flipped to fury, then to icy calm.
Fine.
Now what? She folded her arms. Run back to Serena, play perfect husband and father? I don't know if she'll ever forgive me. A bitter smile. But I can at least stop the hemorrhaging. That includes walking out on our partnership? Her tone sharpened. He nodded. I'm leaving the firm. I'll sell you my shares at market. After this, we shouldn't meet again. You'd torch your career for a woman who no longer wants you? Victoria's voice pitched high. Adrian, get real. You bled for everything you've built. This firm is our lifetime's work, yet you toss it because you wronged her. Not toss a tone, he replied. And I'm unfit to stay. I used you, wounded her, deceived myself. I need time to decide what matters. He set the untouched whiskey on the table and turned toward the door. Adrian, she shouted after him. Step outside and we're finished, partners, friends, all of it. He paused, back still to her. We were never meant to be whatever we became. The door opened, then clicked shut. Victoria stood frozen, staring at the closed panel, then hurled her glass against the wall. Shards exploded like a muted firework. Next on, I left that house with Chloe. Adrian didn't block us. He waited on the threshold while I stashed her suitcase in the trunk, eyes so red he clearly hadn't slept. "Serena," he rasped, "give me a little time. I'll set everything straight." I said nothing, only buckled Chloe in. She pressed to the window, waving. "Bye, Daddy. See you weekend." His lips moved. "Finally. Listen to Mommy." As we rolled out, the mirror caught him shrinking in the golden light, thin, solitary. But my heart stayed flat. Too late, Adrian, far too late. A week later, Alex called. Adrian had signed the divorce petition. He agreed to every clause, only tweaked one detail. Alex said, "He surrendered the house. It's yours and Chloe's. And he'll pay double the statutory child support." I blinked. He didn't fight for custody. Nope. Document gives you sole custody. He'll exercise visitation. Alex paused. Frankly, in all my years of divorce litigation, I rarely see such clean surrender. Especially from someone like Ellis. Guys like him usually battle to the last page. I hung up, oddly hollow. He'd given up just like that. Wasn't this exactly what I wanted? Then why the emptiness? My phone buzzed, text from Adrian, first since I'd unblocked him. I signed. "Can we file Monday? Also, I have something to give you. Can we meet?" I stared for a long minute, then typed. "Fine." Monday afternoon, outside the courthouse. Adrian arrived ahead of me, manila envelope in hand. He'd lost weight, his suit hung loose, but his gaze was clear, the chronic fatigue gone. We filed in, filled forms, signed, stood for the photo. The whole ritual swallowed less than 30 minutes, and 8 years were reduced to a few stamp sheets. When we left, sunlight blazed so sharply my eyes stung. "This is for you." He offered the envelope. Inside, preliminary deed transfer papers, a notarized support payment guarantee, and a thick stack of dashcam printouts and call logs. "What are these?" 3 years of proof how I failed you and Chloe." He spoke evenly. "I pulled every record, marked each call you made that I ignored or delayed because of Victoria, every promise to come home that I broke." My fingers trembled as I flipped pages. March 14th, 2020. Chloe's first steps. 3 missed calls. He was with Victoria courting a client. August 19th, 2021, my birthday. Dinner promise unkept. He toasted at Victoria's victory party. June 3rd, 2022. Chloe's 104-degree fever. 8 calls, phone off. He wined and dined Victoria for 3 hours. Item after item, line after line, a ledger of neglect. I printed 2 sets. He said, "One for you, one for me." Whenever I start feeling self-righteous, I'll reread it, remind myself what a spectacular failure I was. I looked up. Remorse stripped every mask from his face. Too real, too stark to process. "Why give me this?" "So, you know I finally see it," he answered. Not lip service, ripped open, every hideous detail exposed. He dipped into his inner pocket and pulled a small box, our ring box. "Return this too." He lifted the lid. Our paired wedding bands, mine engraved Adrian Serena, his Serena or Adrian. Once I thought those names would loop forever. Now they read like mockery. "Adrian," I whispered, "are you doing this just to forgive yourself?" He flinched, then gave a sad smile. "Maybe. But more, I need you to know leaving was right. The collapse was my fault, yours none. You endured 8 years and tried every day. I simply failed to cherish." Wind lifted my hair. I looked at him, the man I had loved for 10 full years, standing before me now, admitting every wrong, his eyes full of fractured light. But inside me, nothing rippled. Love dies by degrees. When its last ember goes cold, even resentment feels like too much effort. "Taylor, for your honesty." I slipped the file folder and the ring box into my bag. "But I have to say it's too late. Not every 'I'm sorry' earns a 'no worries.'" Adrian nodded. "I know. I don't dare ask for your forgiveness. I only hope that you and Chloe will be happy from now on. We will be, I said. Serena, he called as I turned to leave, voice trembling. One last question. If Victoria had never existed, would we have been different? I paused, considered, then looked back. Adrian, the problem was never Victoria. It was you. Without her, someone else would have filled the void because your heart was never fully in this home. What difference does it make who stands beside a man ready to walk away? He flinched as if struck, stumbling half a step. Goodbye, Adrian. I spoke calmly. Live well. Treat the next person who enters your life with care. Don't let her become another Serena. I walked toward the parking lot without once looking back. Once inside the car, I studied myself in the rearview mirror, eyes crimson, yet dry. My phone buzzed. Ethan. Serena, the gallery renovation finished early. Your solo exhibition could move up to next month. Are you ready? I gazed at the bright sunshine outside and drew a slow breath. I'm ready. Themes still rebirth. No, I said. Let's call it before dawn. The darkness just before daybreak is deepest, but once you push through, light comes, just like me, finally out of an 8-year night. Ahead is uncertain, but the sky is brightening. My show was pushed to 1 month ahead. When Ethan rang to warn me, apology filled his voice. Sorry, Serena. The original exhibit hit a snag, and a slot freed up suddenly. I know it's tight. If you feel it's impossible, it's possible. I cut in. Next month it is. After hanging up, I surveyed the sketches carpeting my studio floor. I'd barely slept the past month. Days with Chloe, nights painting after she dozed off. Coffee and instant noodles sustained me. Pigment stained every piece of clothing, yet my eyes burned bright. Maya dropped by and gasped. Serena, courting death? Your circles reach your chin. Not dying. I mumbled, brush between my teeth as I refined a detail. Just short on sleep. That's way past short. She sighed, set takeout on the table. Eat first. Any news from Adrian? I set the brush down. He picks Chloe up every Saturday, returns her Sunday afternoon. Punctual, no extra words. She says he video calls nightly to read bedtime stories. Turning over a new leaf? Emery. Maybe. I resumed painting. But it has nothing to do with me. Maya hesitated, then simply asked, Need help with next month's opening? I do. I smiled over my shoulder. I need a friend who won't let me bolt. The day before the exhibit, Ethan arrived to review the pieces. He moved from canvas to canvas in silence, finally stopping before the largest, the centerpiece titled Breakout. It showed a woman's back straining free from thick, gray layers of cocoon built up with heavy oils. The body had already emerged halfway, shards of cocoon glinting like dust on her skin where sunlight touched her. Ahead lay hazy yet brilliant color, a horizon at pre-dawn. This is you. Ethan's voice came out husky. Yes and no. I stepped beside him. It's every woman who claws her way out of darkness. Ethan glanced at me, eyes unreadable. You've changed this month. For better or worse? Stronger. He spoke earnestly. Not loud, showy strength, the quiet kind that grows from within. I only smiled. Decided on the show title, he asked. The invitation cards are printed except for that line. I went to the window. Twilight was settling. Before dawn. Perfect. Dylan. Darkest before daylight, but light is almost here. Opening night brought a crowd. Ethan's network plus the gallery's reputation filled the space with press, collectors, artists. Wearing the black dress Maya chose, I greeted guests at the entrance, palms sweating. Nervous, Ethan approached with a glass of water. A bit. I admitted. 8 years since I stood in front of people. You belong here. He held my gaze. Remember, Serena, you were born to be seen. Halfway through, a familiar silhouette caught my eye. Adrian. In a charcoal suit, he stood motionless before Breakout, alone. Victoria nowhere in sight. His shadow stretched long and solitary under the lights. I didn't approach, kept chatting with a collector, Yet from my peripheral vision watched him linger at canvases portraying loneliness, suffocation, struggle. He paused longest at Echo, a piece showing an empty room with a blurred female figure in the corner, mouth open in a soundless cry. That image had been me on countless nights waiting for him to come home. Ms. Vance, the collector drew my focus. I wish to acquire the entire Cage series. Name your price. I blinked. All 6 pieces.
Yes.
As a woman who spent 20 years trapped in a marriage, I understand. Those paintings belong together. They tell one complete story. We agreed on a figure and signed a preliminary sheet. Once she left, I exhaled, turned, and nearly collided with Adrian. He held champagne, eyes complicated. Congratulations, he began. The show is powerful. Taylor. I replied politely. Chloe mentioned you might come. I wasn't sure you would. I said I would. He hesitated. And I wanted to see what you'd poured yourself into this month. Several seconds passed, the buzz of mingling and clinking glasses surrounding us. Your work hurts, he finally said. Standing here, I feel what you endured those 8 years. I offered no reply. Echo, is that how I made you feel? Like no matter how loud you shouted, nothing came back. My chest tightened. Art is abstract. It doesn't point to anyone specific. But to me it does. He met my gaze. Serena, I'm sorry. Words I've used so often they may be worthless now. Still, I'm sorry I left you screaming alone in that room. Tears glimmered in his eyes under the track lighting. I looked away. It's behind us. Is it? He asked.
For you, maybe.
To me these pieces are judgment. Each stroke an axe splitting my arrogance, showing me how cruel I was. Adrian, I sighed. Did you come to list regrets?
No.
He produced an envelope from inside his jacket. I came to give you this. I opened it. An official notice that Adrian had transferred all his partnership shares to Victoria and was resigning from the firm effective immediately. You really quit. Surprise slipped through. Yes. I left that city. Opened a small neighborhood office near Chloe's school. Legal aid cases only. Less money, but my time is mine now. I stared at the stamp and date, speechless. There's more, he added. I compiled our wedding footage, photos, the letters you once wrote me. I made a copy for Chloe. When she grows up and asks about us, she'll know her mom loved her dad, and that her dad failed to treasure it. My nose stung. Serena, his voice dropped to a whisper nearly lost beneath the chatter. I'm not asking for another chance. I know I don't deserve it. I only want you to know I'm changing. Maybe too late. Maybe it no longer matters, but I am. Applause burst from the far end. Someone called my name, press waiting. I have to go, I said. Adrian nodded.
Go.
Tonight you're the star. I walked a few paces, then paused and glanced back. Adrian. He lifted his eyes. Hope and fear mingled. Live well, I told him. Not to atone. Do it for yourself. I rejoined the crowd. Camera flashes fired. Reporters fired questions. I smiled and answered like an artist born to the spotlight. Yet in my side vision, Adrian remained before breakout until the last guest left. 1 month after the exhibit, life found its rhythm. The contract with Ethan's gallery gave steady income for Chloe and me. I rented a 2-bedroom near her school, 1 room hers, 1 my studio. Chloe thrived. Her teachers said she was sunnier than ever. Every Saturday, Adrian appeared punctually in an ordinary family sedan, no longer the luxury SUV. Parks, libraries, science centers, sometimes the grocery store, and an afternoon of cooking. Those were their dates. Chloe returned glowing. Mom, Dad can make tomato scrambled eggs now. A bit salty, but better than last time. I listened, no jealousy, only calm. One Saturday afternoon, Adrian handed me an invitation as he brought Chloe back. I'm getting married, he stated flat out. I opened it. An unfamiliar name, a warm smile in the photo. Victoria wasn't the bride. Congratulations, I said, meaning it. She looks wonderful. She is. He glanced at Chloe assembling puzzles in the living room. Elementary school teacher, loves kids. Simple heart. 3 months in, she's taught me one thing. Healthy love needs no second guessing, no proving. Just two people steady together. I nodded. That sounds right. Serena, he hesitated. May I ask a favor? I'd like Chloe to be the flower girl. If it makes you uncomfortable. I think it's lovely. I cut in. Chloe will be thrilled. He exhaled. Taylor. And I'd like to invite you, not as my ex-wife, but as Chloe's mom. If you'd rather not, I understand. I'll think about it, I replied. After he left, Chloe hugged my legs. Mom, Dad's getting married. Will you be sad? I knelt, meeting her clear gaze.
No.
Mom wants Dad to be happy just like he wants Mom to be happy. When will you get married, Mom? I laughed. When I meet the right person. But even if I don't, Mom and Chloe together are already happy. She pondered, then nodded. Mom and me are the happiest. That evening, Ethan texted, Art salon next Saturday. Industry crowd.
Come?
Maybe your right person will be there. I smiled at the screen. I did attend Adrian's wedding. Not for lingering love, but for Chloe. In a white tulle dress, flower crown, basket in hand, she beamed like a little angel down the aisle. When Adrian took his bride's hand, he glanced toward Chloe, eyes soft. I watched the man I once loved finally learn how to love. Mid-ceremony, I slipped out. Early summer wind brushed my face, warm and gentle.
My phone rang, Ethan.
Where are you? Salon's about to start. Avery, I answered. I hung up, cast a last look at the hotel lights. Laughter and music drifted from within, but that was someone else's story now. Mine was just beginning. I hailed a cab, gave the salon address. As the car pulled away, I rolled the window down, letting the wind in. Streetlights streamed past like flowing stars. My phone vibrated, Maya. How do you feel watching a marry? I gazed at the city night sliding by and typed, like the end of a long movie. Credits roll. Lights come on. Time to go home. Really over him? I watched the river of lights, typed 3 words. Over him.
Send.
Then I powered the phone off, leaned back, and closed my eyes. 8 years of marriage, one drawn-out dream of honey, heartbreak, hope, despair. Now I woke, and morning had come. I opened my eyes just as the taxi crossed a bridge. River water surged below, reflecting city lights in sparkling ripples. Ahead, the salon windows glowed bright and welcoming. The life that belongs to Serena waits right there. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, please like and share with friends. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more.
See you next time.